Do you hate bugs? I sure do, especially the flying ones. And if there's someone that knows about squashing these bugs, it's gotta be Firefly. But who's Firefly? What is her goal? Why does she want the Trailblazer so much? And why is she dodging my poos? Firefly is the name of the pilot and also the name of the mech she possessed. The Firefly Type 4 Strategic Assault Mech was an incredible tool of bug exterminations and allegedly a decent grill. Firefly, before becoming a Steron hunter, was a part of the Iron Cavalry. Once upon a time, there was the Republic of Glamoth. They seem to have been an advanced spacefaring civilization that came under attack by the Swarm. The thing with the Swarm was that the only way they posed any threat at all was with overwhelming numbers. To counter this, Glamoth created the Cavalry. The people who made up the Cavalry were female clones designed to pilot specifically made mechs. I think I've seen this one before. Considering they were humans which tend to think for themselves, telling them their whole point was to be cannon fodder might not be the best move to get them to go along. That is, until you inject patriotism into the mix. Spreading their fruits of civilization far and wide, the Empire of Glamoth only existed in the hearts and minds of the cavalry, an empire spanning thousands of light years headed by Her Majesty Empress Titania, who really was just a proxy the Republic used to control the cavalry. Anyhow, AR-26710, who would later be known as Firefly, quickly got acquainted with the serving the Empress attitude. She even got to kiss Her Majesty's fingertips. Unfortunately, she was bowing down the whole time doing that, so we don't have a nice description of the Empress, but what we do know was that she can talk directly into each of the clones' mind, which made it very convenient for the command and control. Time passed and she got used to fighting on the battlefield. The war with the Swarm had went pretty well, but something happened during this period that the game didn't really go over. During this time, Glamoth announced what they believed to be a victory over the Swarm, and there were evidence that may suggest it was followed by a period of political instability. Because now with the Swarm believed to be gone, you now have just as many clones sitting around with basically nothing to do. In any case, they were met with a beginning of another sunless night. What does this mean exactly? Considering the description had been talking about how the Swarm blotted out the sun when they attacked and stuff, it could be that they got hit with another Swarm wave that overran the Republic for good. And it's here we are shown what Firefly experienced from her Mirrored Celestia trailer. It started out on a ravaged planet with some semblance of civilization in the background. It's most likely not Glamoth itself but a random colony where Firefly and her squad just finished their mission on. They were talking about not being able to get through to command, probably their Empress, so it kind of implies the main Glamoth planet had been overrun by this point by the Swarm. This trailer was retold in her own character story, so we have the info on what happened after they left the planet. The result was what we saw from her animated shot, where the remaining knights do what they do best. The event left Firefly as the only survivor, and the character story cuts out right before she awoke and went for round 2 after awakening her complete combustion power with this tree. Now, some might say the sprouting tree could be telling us something, so what is it you think of when you see trees? No, not the Viet Cong, it's the abundance. It's a bit iffy whether we were supposed to take the tree at face value or not. It's mentioned in passing by Firefly, but we never get a confirmation on what this thing actually is. Cause assuming the Swarm attacked during their height, that being the Swarm disaster, what Firefly see could not have been the abundance because it didn't exist at the time. Though neither can we confirm whether Glamoth came under attack during or after the Swarm disaster. So another safer interpretation is that the tree was just a figment of her imagination that was only symbolic. Look, it just disappears after the next shot. And if what Welch said in her character introduction was of any truth, the tree could have been just a manifestation of her immense will to live, which I did not have.
In this state, the armor's reactor energy undergoes a change. It's not a product of some hidden function as much as an externalization of the wearer's iron will.
Anyhow, with her complete combustion state, she went ahead and put a Death Star and then floated around in space until Kafka came across her and recruited her into the Hunters. This disproves the notion that Firefly was the first hunter that was mentioned to have recruited Kafka. It is highly likely then the first hunter was actually our Trailblazer. Now, for why Firefly would join the Hunters, it was a promise that she would find a way to live cause clones in the Iron Cavalry came with intentional design decisions. Things like accelerated aging, not being able to dream, and the infamous entropy loss syndrome, which sounds a lot like it's related to how she cannot dream. The rest of her character stories are dedicated to be preludes to her appearance in Penacony and her quest of finding a cure for her illness, so that's mostly it for her known backstory. Now to the most important question. What was the unforgettable gain she would reap after her 3 deaths in Penacony? The answer to this question at this point is either her possible deal with Jade that's trying to imply that her condition may be curable, or to be more wholesome, the memories she made along the way. Specifically her dates with the Trailblazer. Shout out to Silverwolf for hiring Sparkle to pull various stunts that allowed this to happen. Very cool. And before we end this video, it is clear as day that there's a lot of things Firefly need to go through to complete her arc, and 2.3 more or less laid the groundwork for the yet to be seen. This has been the story of Firefly, and I bless you with all the good luck so you may get her in your pools. Join me next time as I go back to playing the other Honkai game story. Stay tuned and have a nice day.
Look familiar?